another pattern. Yeah, so today is the visitor pattern, right? So the visitor pattern is, as I said, is very similar to other patterns we've seen, but it's another pattern to solve a similar problem we have solved before, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's create him. It's called visitor. What is it missing? It's still building at the moment, the project is, so that's why it's missing to identify the Kotlin files. Right. Yeah. So yeah. Fixing differences because I've updated my ID, so recently there was an update for the IntelliJ. Charit, what ID do you use? Do you use ID IntelliJ or Android Studio or anything else?
Android Studio.
Are you using Android Studio?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. What are you building any apps at the moment then?
I'm done some. I did some composer. I then try to do some in interfaces.
Uh-huh. What is this composer means? I mean, is it composable you're talking about to build an Android app?
No. What, multi-platform
Oh yeah. Oh, so you're using
Yeah,
compose.
it's very easy to real time update. It is update real time.
So is it multi-platform composer means?
Yeah.
Composer.
Compose.
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 Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So it's yeah. Compose multi-platform, right? This one?
yeah.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, that's what we are using as well, So we are using Compose to build the UI in Android because it is the new way of building the UI. We're not going to
Yeah.
be we're not using XML anymore. We were used to building all our layouts in XML, but now it's all Compose UI. But you can use the Compose as a framework to synchronize with the threading and all that, so that I mean it'll know when to recompose the view and the bit of logic you're running and all that. Yeah. So and again, the Compose is becoming quite popular for multi-platform, as you're saying, for iOS and Android and all other platforms.
Yes, better than Flutter.
Flutter, yes,
Flutter hot
yeah.
preload.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So how are you building this? I haven't used this bit yet. So so do you build the UI in Compose for iOS as well?
No.
Hmm.
I I can't compile to the because of I don't have Apple MacBook. I don't have.
Otherwise you should be able to compose. You can use the Compose, build it in Compose and run it on both. Is that how
Yeah.
the multi-platform works? I've just heard of it. I haven't used this. I haven't studied this or not, So, oh, okay. Yeah, because the people were saying Compose is now becoming multi-platform, you know. Before they had Kotlin multi-platform. Now the Compose is also becoming multi-platform. So, but
Yeah.
Kotlin multi-platform is just to write the logic, business logic in Kotlin and share it in different UI for iOS and Android. But now the Compose is becoming multi-platform. I think, as you're saying, just to do everything in one, and then you can share it, even the business logic as well as the UI. Hold on. Fast reactive desktop and web UI framework for Kotlin based on Google's modern toolkit and brought to you by JetBrains. Yeah, so this is just for desktop, Android, and web UI though. There's no mention of iOS, but I was hearing they were going to push to iOS as well. But let's see. But are you working on a project at the moment then, using this Compose multi-platform?
I'm done with practice.
You're practicing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. All right, cool, brilliant. Okay, nice one. All right then. So yeah, let's create the next one. So this is our next guy, which is called visitor. Yeah. So we all know what's a visitor, right? Yeah. Yeah. So, but what is a visitor? So how are we going to use it? Let's see the problem. I mean, what we can have. Yeah. So imagine Imagine, yeah, let's draw this. Jason, you there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
Oh, cool. You're quiet today. Just, you're going a bit quiet today.
Oh, no, I'm just listening.
Okay, cool. Right. Imagine an HTML page. Yeah. How do we? Oh yeah, let's take F12 or something. All right, so this is an HTML page. Yeah, you can see this, right? This is HTML. No. Yeah. So now what we want to do is we want to. This is our problem. The problem is go through this HTML code and find there are any links, right? Or any how do we call them? Yeah, links, any links, right? Image links or any other links, right? So like, the links can be, I don't see any links here, but the links can be a link to another page or a link to an image source somewhere or something like that. So yeah, something like that. That's what I want to show. But then we want to crawl through. Have you heard of something called crawler? They use these days. The Google has crawler as well. Just check for plagiarism and stuff like that. Just to see if anyone's coming with any malfunction code. So to crawl through our apps and
No,
stuff.
I've never heard of it.
Right. Okay. So the Google uses a crawler to crawl through our code to find any malicious code. So something like that, we want to build a crawler to crawl through this HTML page and find any links and report these are the links we have in this HTML page, right? So let's put up an HTML page, a sample HTML page here. I could draw yeah. So let's do it in an HTML straight away, HTML file. Let's say test. Yeah. Yeah. So this is an HTML page, right? So imagine if we say this could this is where the page start, right? So all the HTML start.
Yeah.
And then inside the body, this is where we can have some container tags and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's a container. So inside the container you can have an image. I'm just sorry, I'm just writing pure HTML here, right? So
yeah, pure HTML.
Yeah, source could be HTTP. Somewhere it's there, some image source is there. So that's a link for us, right? And then let's say there's a link as well, so which is href or something, no? Yeah, href. This is a link as well. www dot right. So that's an href. That's a link. So we have two links in a container at the moment, right? Yeah, right. But then inside the container you can have that. Inside a container you can have another container as well. So that's how they have the containers. So I can do this too, right? And we can carry on like this. But then you can have another image link outside of the container, right? So see the way the nesting is happening. So inside a container we have link, an image link, and a page link, and then another container inside it, and that also has two links, and then it has another image link here. So if you crawl this page, we need to be able to go through all these nested elements and be able to find out the links and spit out all the links. This one, that one, and this one, right? So that's our job. This is what we want to do. And we want to see, how we can do this using our crawler, right? Or the visitor in this case. So what we want to do, the visitor is so the visitor is kind of used in the same way we have seen other patterns. So the visitor will send him into the other components to crawl through or without changing their behaviors, so without changing their designs. So we will not change any of the classes, but we will just send him as a visitor to go into their classes or to their code and and it'll do its job. So it'll check whether it can find an image or so. So the crawler's job is to just go through another component and see whether he can find a link or something it needs to do. So the visitor's job. That's why we call them as visitors. So they will come and visit the other components without changing their behaviors or their states, right? So that's how we
Yeah.
will keep all the, the hierarchy of the, the objects stay the same, which is the open close principle. What is the open close principle? Is one of the solid principles, right? Open close principles. Can anyone tell me what is an open close principle?
Open for extension.
Yes, exactly. You said it. Yeah, open for extension, but close for
Close for
yeah. So it's open for extension. That's correct. Close for yeah. So you want to open everything. You have to be flexible with your system to extend it, but you don't want to. That means the closed. You don't want to modify it, right?
modify.
Yeah. So your system, you need to build your system open for extension, but closed for modification. So you don't want anyone to modify your system, randomly. So
Yeah.
you can let extensions happen. So if you build something, you can extend it out. So like we build a building or something. We build a building, but we don't go inside and modify all the times, right? Bedroom will always stay always as a bedroom. But if you want to put another bathroom through it, we'll extend it out, right? So we'll extend it and we'll put another bathroom next to it. So we will close the modification of the bedroom built already. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So the design will stay the same, but it will not modify. It will not get modified all the time. We will extend it. So this is the same in software engineering as well. So with these patterns, what we are ultimately doing is, we are opening for extensions, but we're closing the design for modifications, right? So the visitor pattern does exactly the same as well here. All of the patterns we have seen so far, they were also doing the same, but here it does it in a different way. It's another pattern in a different style, So yeah, so let's get into the coding bit. So how do we want to have it? So let's define our hierarchy of objects we would have, because of here we can't see the objects, right? So here's the page. So the page starts from body, then we can have a container, image, href for links, So these are the objects I'm seeing already, right? So let's put them there with our of course a hierarchy. So let's say a seal class, HTML element or something. Yeah, I'm just coming up with some name. So this seal class can have an image, right?
Oh yeah, the hierarchy.
Yes, I'm just defining a hierarchy. Inside these are the HTML elements we're going to be putting up a page, right?
Okay.
So this will be a hierarchy of HTML element, of course. But this can have the source, right? Because that will be the link, no? Which would be have its getter as yeah. Let's say this is the source of the image, always as, yeah. We're gonna hard code it. Yeah. So if I use an image HTML element, its source will be always test.com, right? We're just hard coding it, but for us, so that we can crawl the image and to see what's the link it has, right?
Okay.
By sending a visitor into this component, right? So what else we can have? We can have an object the link, This is our href link, yeah. Yeah, so that could be also an HTML element. So this can have the href as the link. This could be something like this.
It's a getter, isn't it? Getter.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So anyone who calls this, they will get the value from this. You could do it too. You can do it that you can set the value there too, by sending it. But this is a better way to assigning a getter. So anytime I call href, that's the value to get from. So the
Mhm.
getters and setters you can use too. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, and then some other elements, so there could be some HTML elements like table and this and that. Who knows? What not? I mean, there could be many, right? Yeah. Okay. But our guys are these, so we want to identify the image and the href as sorry, the link and the image. Sorry.
What are those new? What's that new stuff? I've never seen that before. Is that?
Oh no, this is my ID showing that, I mean, I am typing and these are the new lines are getting added into this project.
Oh, this is the new features.
Yeah, I'm seeing this. I've started seeing this, I mean, from a couple of weeks ago. I think this is
Okay.
some new features in the ID. And also, if you open this, it will show. I see. I have committed this block of code. Who was the author of these methods and the functions and all that.
Oh, okay, right. I understand. Yeah, no, it just threw me off. I saw new. I was thinking, oh,
Yeah.
this has got nothing. Straight away, I thought of Java.
Oh yeah, this is telling these are new lines which are not committed yet into the project. In GitHub.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Right. So we have our hierarchy. Let's now put up a page, yeah? Let's start with our main function. Boom. Yeah. And then so let's create our page. Right. So page can have list of HTML elements, right? That's how we will create. So the page which can have HTML elements, isn't it? Of course, it needs to start with a container, right? You with me, right? We're just making this up, yeah?
Yeah.
So the page should have, like in this case, and then the HTML page we have created, so the page will have HTML elements. So the
Like a title and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So you can have a title too, why not? A table and all the title, these are HTML elements, right? But we are interested on finding the links one, whichever the elements which has the links. But anyway, let's put up the page. So we have a page, but how does the page will look? The page will need to have the list of HTML elements, right? So if we want to create that, so let's create the class page. It's okay, we can go with the data class, or just class would be okay as well, so we can have a page which will have elements, HTML elements, but this will be, let's say these are the mutable list of elements, right? HTML elements, mutable list of HTML element, and then let's say this is mutable element of, so we start with an empty list, because of the page is going to host or hold off all the HTML elements. And now we can say the constructor now can take, this is the way the book was showing us, I mean, that how we can add HTML elements into this page. Another way, there are certain ways to do it, but then it's showing this way. So the var arg, do you know what this is?
Various arguments.
Correct.
Various arguments.
Yeah. So that means it's an array of elements you can pass into this constructor. It doesn't have a limit, so you can send any amount of HTML elements into this when you're creating a page. You can send one or many. That's what this means, because this is an array of arguments. Various, various arguments, or var, for array of arguments too. So we call this, and then
type as well.
Yeah. But then whatever
any type.
No. No. But then any array of HTML element. This is the type, no?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So so now we can add. So we receive the var arg of HTML elements. It's actually plural, right? Elements, and we want to add it into this mutable list. So this is also our list. So we receive it from outside, and we want to add it into this so that we can group everything into the page that, I mean, these are the HTML elements it's made of, you know. So let's loop this for elements. Sorry. E in elements, and then now we are looping this thing, and we want to add it into this, yeah, because that's the mutable list of. Oh, sorry, this dot elements dot add the E, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, so far so good. So now we can create a page with list of HTML elements, right? So I can now say the page can have an image.
Oh yeah, this again. Is that the object? Something to do with the object.
Exactly.
And
So
the object is page.
yes, correct. So this is the page and the constructor. So when you're creating a page, you can pass any number of HTML elements, right? So you can pass what is it? Where's the other one? Link.
The type is this. Is it right? Am I reading it correctly?
Say it again. Which one?
The type is the page there.
Which line?
No, the keyword this.
You mean this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's referring to the object.
Correct. So see, this is the secondary constructor, right? In Kotlin, the first is by default. This is your constructor.
Oh right, that's a second, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want secondary constructors, you can call them as constructor, and you can take anything in. But then you need to call the primary constructor. You know. So the secondary constructor extend. So that's how it's saying this is the primary constructor. It's calling the super.
Right. You know? What's the point of having two constructors again?
Yeah. See, because the page. If you want to create a page, here we said you don't need to pass in anything, but we created a private value, yeah.
Yeah.
But
so that's getting initialized, yeah.
Yeah, it will get initialized, but the secondary constructor will be the one we are using to say, yes, you need to now pass in any amount, any number of HTML elements.
Oh, okay.
And that we collect and we put it into and we call the primary constructor. Yeah. So the primary constructor is called here. So when you call the secondary constructor, so this is calling it secondary constructor, right? Because of the var arg of HTML elements that we are passing here is the secondary constructor. Yeah. So we are passing in any number of HTML elements. Yeah. So the secondary constructor is the one which takes in any number of HTML elements. So it takes it in, and then it says, if it's a secondary constructor, it has to call the super, which is the primary constructor. Yeah. And the primary constructor can only be created with list of elements, right?
You've written super there?
No. Yeah, that's actually, this is the primary constructor call, right? Oh, okay. This, we refer to this, the first primary constructor. There's another way of using this, to say primary constructor.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, if it's a secondary constructor, it needs to call the primary constructor, right?
Right.
Yeah. But the primary constructor can be only called can be called here with this. At the same time, we can pass in a list because of its arguments. I mean, it has a value to be passed as. I mean, so the elements, right? So
got 1 minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll start again. Yeah. Because I mean, this is another way of, initialize the variables at the same time you define a constructor. Otherwise, probably we will tell, these are the values inside the class itself. We are defining the values at the same time inside the constructor. This is Kotlin. Right? So if you define them, you can. So yeah, so you can call without this too, because of the elements is initialized already with an empty list. So you can or cannot. I mean, so if you want, you can pass it here. So because of it, I mean, it's going to be get initialized there.
Yeah, we go with